Chattanooga. You're listening to All New Nooga Radio, NoogaRadio.com here on 92.7 FM. Thank you for joining us today. Making me just a small part of your day. You know that I appreciate you. So we had the Titans playing on Thursday Night Football. That was the game that they're playing this week. They played the Jaguars. They beat them 30-9. Pretty handily, I would say. And, you know, we had somebody in the game erupt when Derrick Henry has finally decided to make his appearance for the Tennessee Titans this season. And it sounded a little something like this.
There's already been one safety in this half. Drive starts at the 1 and looking for a little breathing room, and they get that and plenty more. Derrick Henry still going. Stays in bounds. He might go 99 yards for the touchdown. Unbelievable.
Yeah, Derrick Henry. What on earth is Derrick Henry? Because we know what he can be at his best. Derrick Henry at his best is a dump truck with legs. He is a steamroller with a helmet. He's a Mack truck with a jersey. But he's struggled this season. And I don't know why. I mean, he's massive. When he came out of Alabama, there's no way that you could have convinced me that he would have struggled the way he has in the NFL. And I understand that he's got kind of a weird way of running for how big he is. He's really tall. And one of the things that he does that people who know running backs have criticized is that he stands up too early. So instead of using just all of his weight and all of his force, he's easier to tackle. But he's a giant human. Like if you ever see Derrick Henry, like most running backs are short. Like most running backs are shorter than me. I'm 5'10". There are a lot of running backs that are like 5'6", 5'5". You know, sure, thighs the size of the two of us put together. But this is incredible. When you see that guy, he's like 6'3", like 260. It should be illegal. It should be illegal to be that big and move that fast. When you saw the best of what that could look like, 99-yard run. I mean, he ate the entire Jaguars defense. There's who was number 41? Was that Barry Church? It was somebody that he shoved out of bounds. That guy's still falling out of bounds now. He'll be falling out of bounds next week. I've never seen anything like that in my life. You want to hear it again?
Yeah, well, you can also.
No, I thought you. Well, your button doesn't always. You were on.
Yeah,
you were there.
Okay, I'm here now. Also, if you look, Derrick Henry is 7 yards into the end zone.
Yeah, this is a pretty ill-advised setup for a run.
Yes,
already.
Whenever I watched this Thursday night, I was like, "Well, that's a safety." Instead, it turned into
it turned into
safety
a historic night.
Drive starts at the 1 and looking for a little breathing room, and they get that and plenty more. Derrick Henry still going.
Yeah, just ran through that entire defense.
And then Jacobs, he threw him. Just like picked him up and said, "Out of bounds, fool."
Stays in bounds. He might go 99 yards for the touchdown.
And that's not to say that he didn't rip off a 54-yard run a little later in the game.
What, 2 plays later?
Pretty much, yeah. When Derrick Henry is absolutely rolling, he's one of the best running backs in football. One of the things that the coaches were saying about Derrick Henry too was that he's been playing a whole lot better since the bye week. And I don't know if he's figured something out or maybe he's just a whole lot more refreshed since then. But if he keeps playing like this, the Titans could be one of the best teams in that division. Granted, that's a tough division.
Yes. I mean, look right there, just boom.
It didn't. Yeah. Now here's Jacobs where he just yanks him and just throws him out of bounds. It's not the Marshawn Lynch
arm, the stiff arm right there too. That's Jax, I believe, number 44. Just Done.
Yeah, he destroys Boye and then throws AJ Boye and then he throws Jacobs out of bounds. It's not the Brandon Jacobs run. Or not the Brandon Jacobs. It's not the Marshawn Lynch run. The Marshawn Lynch run is stupid still. Because if Marshawn Lynch could have run 200 yards if he had to.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I don't have it queued up. But, and this is the funnier version if you haven't seen it yet. It's the Tecmo Bowl version.
The Tecmo Bowl version of Derrick Henry's.
There's already been one safety in this half. Drive starts at the 1 and looking for a little breathing room, and they get that and plenty more. Derrick Henry still going. Stays in bounds. He might go 99 yards for the touchdown. Unbelievable. 99 yards. Images of Tony Dorsett on Monday Night Football right there.
That's really well done.
And, it even had the Tecmo Super Bowl sound in the background. That made it
That's
priceless.
absolutely fantastic. They turned Derrick Henry into the second coming of Bo Jackson.
Yes.
They really did. I mean, he's been good, but I mean, this is a guy that before this game was averaging 3.9 yards a carry. That's not good.
No, and also
launched himself past 4.5 yards.
Yeah, and also too, remember the first year, he always played behind Delaney. No, Delaney Walker, or was it?
No, it was.
Oh shoot!
It was.
I'm such a crappy Titans fan.
DeMarco
Murray. He played behind DeMarco. I mean, DeMarco got pretty much all the runs that season. So Derrick didn't have really time to more or less develop the actual game. But now we're getting there. And again, when I saw that on Thursday night, I was like, okay, what are we lined up for? And this is a safety. Good job. And then boom, 99 yards.
Yeah. The coaching staff said he's earned more touches since the bye week. And again, I don't know if he's just been more refreshed or if he's finally starting to put it together. Because we have also seen what it looks like when running backs don't put it together.
Yes, we have.
We've seen what it looks like when Alabama running backs don't put it together. Remember Trent Richardson? Trent Richardson drafted by the Browns, and then they traded him to the Colts. And then the last time I saw Trent Richardson, he was
warming the bench somewhere.
He was in a Raiders preseason game trying to make that team pre-Gruden. He was trying to make that team and missed a hole I could have driven my Honda Civic through. Twice. I mean, it was a massive hole, and everyone was looking at him going, "What are you doing?"
And you could actually drove your Civic and made a U-turn and came back and drove back to it.
Just parked it sideways. If I could parallel park, I could have parallel parked it right there. It was a massive gap, and he just didn't see it. Just didn't have the vision, and to the point where you wonder with some of these Alabama running backs, and I'm not saying this about Derrick Henry, but with some Alabama running backs, you get the benefit of running behind this fantastic offensive line that's just brilliant. Maybe you don't need the vision that a lot of these other running backs have to develop. Your Saquon Barkley at Penn State. It's a good offensive line, but it's not the best in football. You have to develop a little bit more vision.
That's true.
The kid the Seahawks drafted from San Diego State. You're playing at San Diego State. You have to develop a little bit more vision. You're Trent Richardson. Yeah, he clearly didn't ever develop it. You didn't have to. No. That offensive line really made, and he is a powerful runner. I'm not taking away his athletic ability. I don't even think that's Derrick Henry's problem. Derrick Henry's problem is that he is a scat back in a power back's body. He's very shifty. If you try and run him up the middle, that's not the best way to use him.
No, he's an outside guy.
And it's pretty crazy. I mean, he ran up the middle at Alabama, but again, that's college.
And also, you've got that big Alabama defense at the time that could just move people.
That offensive line is just going to open up,
interstates.
They part the Red Sea for you.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, they'll get that They'll get that nice and open. You can go wherever you want.
We're going to run? Okay, hang on. Let me go park the stands.
Yeah, Southwest Airlines, man. You're now free to roam about the country. You can go wherever you want to. You can do that there. In the NFL, not necessarily, and you have to use guys the way that they're best. Derrick Henry, if you put him in a one-on-one situation where there's just one guy to beat, we saw what happened on that run. He had multiple of those situations where it was just him and one guy. Derrick Henry wins that most of the time.
Most of the time, yes.
You got to put him in those situations. Running him up the middle is just the Titans do this often, and it's just not the best use of him as a player. He's going to put up numbers if he does get to be outside, if he does get to catch the ball. Like, you don't want to compare him to a guy like Christian McCaffrey because Christian McCaffrey looks like he's half his size, but he does play more like Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara.
Yes, I was about to say Alvin Kamara was more of the comparable, but put him in a good Wildcat.
I mean, that'd be nice.
Be interesting.
I don't know that the Titans are adventurous enough
or smart enough,
but you don't have a choice at this point because you're the third best team in your suddenly very good division.
Suddenly.
Yeah, I mean, the Texans started off 0-3. They've won 9 in a row now, so they're number one. And Andrew Luck, his shoulder, that he can throw again. So now it's over. The dream was you could win the division, and they lost a bunch of games that they should have won. They should have beaten the Dolphins to start the year.
Yes.
Why did they drop that game? It just this is the Titans. They lose games that they ought to win. Had they won those games, they would be.
We are the Titans
in that same conversation. Yeah, it's just you lost to the Texans while they were still struggling. You can't lose those games. You can't lose those games. And it comes back to bite you in the rear in the end, especially when you're in a division that's pretty loaded. The Jaguars are having a down year, but that's just because they discovered what we all knew, which is that Blake Bortles is bad at football. But if they get a passable quarterback.
Didn't know he was bad at football.
Oh, he's awful. He's awful. I mean, I can't even as a joke follow you down that path.
Okay.
He's off.
I'll just hang on. Let me turn around and come back.
I'm sorry. I just can't go there with you. I can't even humor that Blake Bortles isn't one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen. I mean, Nathan Peterman really made a strong case, but no, Blake in a 3-year span has been the worst quarterback in the league. So we've got to talk about the Hugh Freeze situation because Hugh Freeze,
yes,
formerly of Ole Miss, now coaching Liberty University. And this is interesting for a couple of reasons. One, Hugh Freeze was fired with cause from Ole Miss for hiring prostitutes. He had a morality clause in his contract, so they were able to fire him.
And he put that in there himself.
Yeah. Why? I understand that he's a very Christian man, and you want people to see how Christian you are, but don't put that in there if you're actually not going to act like it.
I didn't put a morality clause in my contract here.
I mean. Because, no. I mean, there's no morality clauses in any contracts here. We act like a bunch of animals, but we're not pretending that we're not. There's no pretense. I mean, you've been on the Breakfast Blitz. There's nothing human about that show.
I've caused a lot of the inhumane issues. That's why also in my title, I'm the inhumane resources.
There's no humanity there.
No.
So yeah. And he's getting a new start at Liberty University. Very talented football coach, but apparently not talented with what to say following a scandal like the one that he just got fired from.
Faith for me is believing in the Son of God, Jesus Christ, and he is the only one I've ever met that can handle my junk. If you know somebody else that can do that, I'd love to meet him, but I haven't met that person yet, and he's the only one that can. And
Okay. I'm sure there were several people he called that could handle said stuff.
Yeah, there were people he called that could have handled his junk, and they did, and that's why he got fired. That's why he's here now. It's not tone deafness. I understand you misspeak at times. It does happen. People misspeak. I understand that people misspeak. I do.
is the only one I've ever met that can handle my junk.
But that's not okay.
No,
not for you, not in that position. Those are the only words you couldn't say in a press conference where you're getting a new job. Those are the only words you couldn't say. Don't say it like that.
The only one I've ever met that can handle my junk.
This is bad. This is just a guy being in front of the media. He clearly hasn't been in front of the media for a while.
If you know somebody else that can do that, I'd love to meet him, but I haven't met that person yet, and he's the only one that can. And
he's the only one who can.
That's producing, by the way.
That's producing. So there you go. I know that when you come on the show, you don't have to have your producer hat on, but I do appreciate it. You can't word it that way. We live in a soundbite era. And here's the thing that really blows me away is as he's saying it, there isn't even a recognition that sounds wrong.
No, and if you look at his face, even as he's saying it, it's like he's just
Jesus Christ, and then he
the camera.
is the only one I've ever met that can handle my junk.
And
if you know somebody else that,
I mean, there's real no. But as we said yesterday during the Blitz, he looks like either A, his mother dressed him and wouldn't get rid of his favorite baseball cap, or B, who was it? It was like a trucker.
I thought he looked like a trucker that was trying to look professional, or for some reason, an account executive that decided that he wanted to be a trucker today. The baseball cap and the suit and tie, too much. Yeah. I say lose the tie
or lose the baseball cap.
One of the two. You can't have them both.
But then let's go back and look at Les Miles when he takes the hat off. You're like, who's this fool? Oh, it's Les Miles.
Well, that's true, but I think Les Miles just has one of those faces. Hugh Freeze he's got a recognizable face. I mean, the issue is just you can't say that in front of the media. You just can't. I don't know what else you could say. Oh wait, no, I do. You could say handle your problems, handle your issues.
He's the only one I've ever met that can handle my junk.
It's just when you get in front of the media, they coach you. You know what to say more or less. And if you're a guy that's coming off of recently a sex scandal, anybody handling your junk is not imagery that anybody needs. Just don't need it.
He could just say, look, Jesus is the only one that can handle my issues, my problems, my past problems, my sins.
Oh, there are just so many words. Literally open a thesaurus.
Yeah, I mean, junk. Okay. Stuff, issues.
We're just spitballing here. We just came up with 10 other things he could say.
Private parts? Oh, wait, what?
Yeah, no, definitely don't say that.
Junk.
Just the one thing that you could have said that's also a euphemism for your parts.
My parts. Yeah, Jesus the only one can handle my parts would have been even better. Did I just really say that? I did, didn't I?
You did.
Okay.
You did.
Yeah.
His was still worse.
No, yeah, because I'm not here having to defend my my morality. We all know I'm a sketchy human being.
Sometimes your reputation just precedes you. If anybody else had said that, we don't really have a problem. Like if Hugh Freeze had been fired for Ole Miss for what he really should have been fired for Ole Miss from, which is
poor coaching.
Well, breaking NCAA rules.
Poor coaching decisions.
Because I don't think he was a bad coach, honestly. Like he really put up some fights against Alabama, even as a coach, and his offenses could really score some points. And to be fair, there's only but so many games we expect you to win at Ole Miss.
Yeah, I mean, not a lot. More than Vandy.
You might be big brother in the state of Mississippi, but in the SEC as a whole, you're still Ole Miss.
Yeah, you have to keep Mississippi State in check. Yeah.
And Mississippi State's big brother now. So that even that's now changed. But you can't say that. Yeah. It should just be a no-brainer.
You have to keep LSU in check as well, Arkansas in check.
Well, now Arkansas keeps Arkansas in check. by playing no defense. If Arkansas wants to fill out their application for the Big 12, we'll have them. They'll fit right in.
Nah.
Don't defend a soul.
Nah.
I'm just saying.
If you want someone in the Big 12, we'll trade you Florida.
Give us Florida.
I'll give you Florida.
We'll take Florida.
And as a bonus, I'll give you Missouri.
Yeah, we'll take Missouri back.
You can have it back. We don't want it anymore.
They ran away from us. That was.
It's okay. I tell you what, we'll pack its belongings and send it back home.
We'll take them back. There's only 10 teams in the Big 12. We need 2 more. We'll take literally anybody.
Vandy?
Yeah. Well, we already got Kansas. They can't be worse than that.
Well, no, you're not going to get Vandy because, Really? Even though Vandy is small and Vandy doesn't always have the best, Vandy's the founder. We're going to keep Vandy.
Yeah, no, I mean, you give us Vandy. We'll do something with Vandy. So coming up next, we've got the picks. It's an NFL Sunday. Who's going to win? Who's going to lose? I'm going to tell you next. Oh.
Traffic, news, and information. Nuga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM.
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
Video on social media was released of the rapper Interstate Tax being arrested by Hamilton County Sheriff's Office deputies. The video appears to show a rapper calling himself Interstate Tax being punched and kicked by Hamilton County Sheriff's Office deputies. While he was kicking his legs at the time, he was restrained. An officer is shown appearing to kick the rapper in the kidneys while he's lying on his side. The Hamilton County Sheriff's Office opened an internal investigation. The day of his arrest, Interstate Tax was supposed to appear on Marie Mott's show here on Nuga Radio. Eastridge Police Department is trying to capture a woman who was caught on video stealing a credit card and then using it to buy $160 worth of gift cards. We've shared the surveillance photo of her on our Facebook page. If you know who she is, contact the Eastridge Police Department. The Salvation Army says there's been a shortage of bell ringers. They're looking for volunteers. Wintry weather could be coming to Chattanooga. Keep an eye open for school closures. Russell Stroud, Nuga Radio News, Talking 92.7 Action News now.
David Toulis, I made the move 1 o'clock every weekday afternoon, 1 till 3, Nuga Radio.
92.7.
It's been more wet and cold weather for your Sunday. Rain becoming more scattered, though, through the day. Highs 40 to 42. Tonight, some lingering showers, lows into the mid-30s. Still a few more showers will rotate through on Monday. Highs lower 40s. More sunshine finally drying out Tuesday. What did Jesus mean when he commanded us to be ready? Find out in Looking Up. Living in Anticipation of Christ, a book by local author Eddie Turner, available now at Amazon and Barnes & Noble. And I'm Swarsheen 12, Chief Meteorologist, Pastor 4.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
Whether you have marginal, moderate, or even extensive hair loss, you don't have to live with it. Finally, there's a procedure that becomes a part of you, and it requires no daily maintenance or special care. Let Apollo Hair Systems give you a free hair and scalp analysis today. Call 423-803-1011 and schedule this free evaluation today. Open Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Friday and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Apollo Hair Systems, 5512 Ringgold Road in Chattanooga. 423-803-1011 for Apollo Hair Systems.
I live, work, and play in Chattanooga, the scenic city. But when it comes to my next car, truck, or SUV, I'm Alabama bound. Fort Payne, Alabama, and Landers McClarty Ford. Big city selection of new and pre-owned vehicles with the small town price and friendly service. Now, I'm not knocking my hometown, but when it comes to my next ride, I only go to Landers McClarty Ford of Fort Payne. Their selection is huge. Then if I can't find what I want, they'll find it for me with the same low price, same great service, and only a short drive away. And I can go online to look around before I leave the house. Got that next dream ride in your head yet? Yeah, you do. Get a head start at LandersMcClartyFord of FortPayne.com. Don't just dream it, find it at LandersMcClartyFord of FortPayne.com. That's right, Landers McClarty Ford of Fort Payne, Alabama.
Nuga Radio.
Roar into Talladega.
Hello? Who am I speaking with?
Eric.
You're our winner.
Really?
You'll receive tickets for all 3 races between the Camping World Truck Series, Xfinity Series, and the Monster Energy Cup races.
Holy cow.
In addition, you'll receive a 2-night stay at the Microtel Hotel and restaurant accommodations at 2 area restaurants.
Nuga Radio.
Roar into Talladega.
Nuga Radio
92.7.
Your NASCAR racing station. Nuga Radio 92.7 FM.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
Listen to that. That's the sound of power and the call of the open road. That's the sound of the newly designed 2019 Indian Chieftain Limited. Yeah, Indian. It's more than a bike. It's an experience and an American icon. The place to find it, Indian Motorcycle of Chattanooga, along with their entire new 2019 line. The open road is calling. Answer the call. Go to Indian Motorcycle of Chattanooga. Just look for the sign on 153 and Nicola. Indian Motorcycle, the true American original.
Nougat Radio, digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM knows your opinion is important. So call 800-8949. Agree or disagree? Call 423-800-8949. 800-8949. Nougat Radio, 92.7 FM and 95.3 HD4. News Talk Nougat Radio.
Martin Truex Jr. is off the pace and he is headed to the pit lane. Elliott Powers around the outside. Michael McDowell pops the right front tire. Here's Martin Truex to the bottom. Blaney blocks him off too. Meanwhile, Chase Elliott went 4 wide on the back straightaway. They're side by side for the lead.
Hear it live on Chattanooga's official NASCAR radio station.
Nougat Radio, 92.7 FM, 95.3 HD4.
The voice of NASCAR.
Nougat Radio.
Are you brain dead? Still voting for pathetic liberals? Take 3 hours of Sean Hannity from 3 to 6.
Nougat Radio.
Then call us in the morning between 9 and 11.
92.7
Nougat Radio.
You're listening to all new Nougat Radio, NougatRadio.com. You're on 92.7 FM. The show is connected to Keon Rose. Thank you for joining me today. Giving me just a small part of your day. You know that I appreciate you. And I want to remind you, friend of the show is back. It's back here in Chattanooga, and it's right here on Nougat Radio 92.7 FM starting tomorrow at 8 a.m. You're not going to want to miss that. The triumphant return of Jeff Styles to the airwaves of this fine city.
It's like the most exciting thing ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
For us.
Well, definitely for us. I mean,
it's a big deal.
Like this
is a big deal.
Looks like we're all grown up now.
Yes. Yes.
Look at us.
We now have a stable of talented people.
This is true. We've got a lot of programming, you know. Marie Mott, we've got
local news, Russ and Val.
Mortgage Sense. We do have local news with Russ and Val. I think our sports shows are fantastic, possibly the best in town. But I'm highly biased.
Highly. We've got the Chattanooga Midday Show with Donna Christian Lowe. We've got Marie Mott. We've got the All-Star David Tullis.
I mean, we've got a good squad now.
And it's all, I mean, we are now live and local from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m.
And on weekends. Who else can say that? Really?
Nobody.
I mean, that's one of the things that sets us apart and makes us special is that not only are we live and local most days of the weekdays, we're also live and local on the weekends.
Yeah, I mean, we're live. I mean, we start Saturday mornings out with Nick's show, The Breakfast Place. You and myself are usually, outcast on it. And then we've got Scott Schrader does his We've Got You Covered, then Morgan Sense with Kevin, and then you today, the best of the sports shows on Sunday.
not competing with much, but yeah. So Jeff Styles, return of Fred the Show, 92.7 FM, 8 a.m. What did you say earlier? Tune your radio dial to 92.7 and then just break it?
Just break it.
There you go.
Break it.
Perfect.
Don't ever change.
Break off the knob. Never change it again.
And if you've got presets, you just preset 1, preset 2, preset 3, preset 4. Don't change.
Well, that's what I'm going to do. Literally when I leave here. I'm going to set all of my presets to the 92.7.
So that way when somebody gets in the car and they're like, I don't want to listen to this. You ain't got a choice.
What can you do?
You ain't got a choice. And
surprise!
Take your hand.
Well, easy.
No,
easy.
No, it's a big deal. We're a big deal.
Yeah, I'm not.
We're a big deal.
I'm not a dictator here.
Yes, yes, you are.
A little bit. So we've got a lot of games, a full slate of NFL games ahead, and it's going to be an interesting day. We got teams shuffling back and forth, trying to get to a wild card spot. A lot of teams trying to get to that top spot in their division to guarantee themselves a playoff spot. A lot of positions in play. So we're just going to start with one divisional matchup that I'm sure nobody cares about. It's the Patriots and it's the Dolphins. Pats are 9-3. Dolphins are 6-6. The Patriots are 9-point favorites. The Patriots have been bad by their standards. 9-3, you wouldn't, you don't look at 9-3 and go, well, that's bad. But Tom Brady is surprisingly one of the top 3 least accurate quarterbacks in the NFL right now, along with Aaron Rodgers, which is also bizarre.
Yes.
They're both having absolutely horrible years. But Tom Brady, because I think he's just getting old. The Patriots can still win, but he's getting up there.
He is. And this is just one game I really don't care about either way, personally. I'll pull a neck and go, oh.
Right. But that being said, I'm going to go with the Patriots. They're the better team. The reason why you don't care about this game has nothing to do with the Patriots and everything to do with the fact that the Dolphins
are horrible.
Are real bad. Real bad.
Real bad.
They can barely run the ball. Throwing the ball looks like a struggle. Defending anything looks like a struggle for them. The Dolphins are terrible, which again makes me more upset that the Titans started the year by losing to this team.
Yeah.
The next game on the slate is another AFC East matchup that, again, I'm sure you absolutely do not care about. That is the Jets. That is the Bills. The Jets are 3-9. The Bills are 4-8. The Jets have not even Sam Darnold at this point. They're starting Josh McCown. And McCown is a solid backup quarterback, but I don't want to sit down and watch backups, which is essentially what I would be watching when I'm watching the Jets and the Bills. Josh Allen has showed some flashes with the Bills, which I didn't know that he was capable of making some of the throws that he's made. He's got a very strong arm. He reminds me a lot of Cam, actually, when he first came in the league. Just a very athletic, not a very accurate passer, but he's got a strong arm. And he's very fast. And actually, the only reason why the Josh Allen Cam Newton comparison is not obvious is that Josh Allen is white. It's just we for whatever reason we don't treat white people like they're fast. I don't know why. Josh Allen's really fast. And whenever I hear people describe what he is, fast is never the word I hear. And I'm like, are you blind? Wait.
A ghost. A ghost.
A ghost. All I'm saying is racism has to be the only reason why we're not giving this guy the speed credit that he clearly deserves. What else am I supposed to conclude when a guy plays like a young Cam Newton and the comparison isn't automatically Cam Newton?
Yeah, he's just there. He's running the ball moderately okay.
It's oh boy.
We're not gonna say fast.
Yeah, no. Like, listen. Okay, the next time you watch the NFL draft, when there's a person when there's a white person at like wide receiver or running back, look at how many times they describe that person as being a gym rat and being shifty.
True.
We just describe white people differently, like none of them are athletic. It's weird. I can't understand what the rationale behind that is.
Oh, he's a gym rat. He's shifty.
Same thing with the NBA draft too. If there's ever a white guy getting drafted like high in the lottery, you just like they don't describe him like they describe all the other players.
What's he doing here? Wait, he did what? Can we get a recount?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's racism. That's what I'm standing by my claim.
I'll let you have your claim. I'll let you have it. I ain't gonna take it away.
Another game coming up that most people don't care about. I'm a Redskins fan, so I vaguely care about this game. This NFC East matchup between the Giants and the Redskins, featuring old Eli Manning and the 4-8 Giants, and the Redskins, who are 6-6. Were spending most of the season at the top of the division. They've now fallen all the way back to third after two quarterbacks being injured.
One of them's leg gets broken, thrown around his head. And then,
yeah, I mean, Alex Smith got Joe Theismann.
Yeah.
And what makes that freaky, of course, is that he got his leg broken 20 years to the day.
In the same place.
The
same teams.
The same score.
The same score.
How can you... Well, I think it wasn't the same teams because
it was not the same.
They were playing the Texans.
Oh, no, that's right. It would not been the same.
And the Giants destroyed. Well, specifically, Lawrence Taylor destroyed Joe Theismann's life. But the score was the same. The day was the same. I mean, yeah, it's one of those fluky things. You go, how on earth does that even happen?
One of those ghosts that the lady in England is banging. This
the amethyst realm
had an issue.
And then Colt McCoy goes down with also a leg injury because why not? And who knows, all of a sudden, Mark Sanchez is the starting quarterback of the Washington Redskins.
Where did they plant him at?
They dug him up the week before. They just didn't expect to have to play him.
Did they just go?
Then they went, Thursday Night Football happened. They had to play him.
Did they go to his house and go, Hey,
and then
we need a quarterback.
Some more fluky stuff happens because, of course, Mark Sanchez's most famous play is the butt fumble, where he ran into his offensive lineman's butt and fumbled the football. And he fumbled the football later in that game and recovered it by pinning the ball against his own butt. So a little bit of redemption there. But again,
redemption.
This is the season that the Redskins are having. They are somehow only 3-point dogs to the Giants.
It's all that karma. It's karma coming back to Washington for being the dirtiest.
Being the least moral team. I mean, I could go on. I root for this team, but just a list of sins. First off, Dan Snyder is the worst owner in sports. He's been gouging Redskins fans for years. So there's that. Then you've got the Reuben Foster thing. Then you've got the Junior Gillette thing. Then you've got basically any person that the Redskins have signed for way too much money that they should not have signed ever.
And then you got the ball hoarding.
Then you have that. Then you can go all the way back to the beginning of the history of this team. The Redskins were the last team to racially integrate. And you just pick a thing.
And still carry the Redskins name.
I'm shocked that with the karma that we have, that team's got 3 Super Bowls. That's a miracle. That's an actual miracle. If you believe in karma, there's no reason why the Browns fans are suffering, but the Redskins have 3 Super Bowls. How is that possible? Anyway, the Redskins are gonna win this game because I think the Giants are actually that bad, and they're one of my top 5 teams who have just absolutely quit.
Deuces.
Odell Beckham hasn't quit. Give him his credit there, but everyone else, they don't want it. They don't want it. The Ravens are playing the Chiefs. The Ravens are 7-5. The Chiefs are 10-2, but this is actually a surprisingly interesting game. One, the Ravens are still, despite being 7-5, a top 5 defense in the league.
They got one of the top defenses in the league. So yeah,
you've got 2 rookie quarterbacks facing off against each other. Not Joe Flacco, Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson.
Right, because Flacco's hurt.
And Lamar Jackson, as a starter, he's undefeated. 2-0. He's got a nice little run going there for himself. And they're going up against the Chiefs. The Chiefs score a lot, and they are offensively potent. But also, you and 10 friends could score on the Kansas City Chiefs. This might actually be a sneaky matchup for them because of how good the Ravens defense is. It's one of the most underrated defenses in the entire league right now. 6.5-point favorites are the Chiefs. That sounds about right. I think the Ravens could actually cover in that game, if not make that a close enough game to where they have a shot to actually win by the end. The Saints are playing the Buccaneers in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, and we saw the video of that a while ago on Facebook, and it is coming a flood.
It looks like a monsoon. I was born in South America in Guyana, and Guyana, as I've been told, only has 2 seasons: dry season and rainy season. And it looks like rainy season in Tampa Bay. It looks like a nightmare. Yeah, I don't know how they're supposed to play football in that.
For the people who are listening who drove around today and said, gosh, look at all the water on the ground. 16 times worse in Tampa.
16 times worse in Tampa. And if you really want a chance to win, maybe you can go find Michael Phelps if he's a free agent. See if he gives you an opportunity to win. Sign Katie Ledecky and see if she can do something for you, because you're going to be swimming more than you're going to be running in the
sign Noah.
Just that'd be helpful.
Sign Noah. He'll bring the ark,
because you're not running into the end zone
in the I formation. Here's the ark.
Yeah. I don't know what the height and weight, what the dimensions on the ark would be there. If that's even legal to have a giant boat as a football player, but there you go. So the
Panthers put Alvin Kamara in the boat. Kamara's got the ball in the ark, and it's going up past the 50 and stopped.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know how they would stop. How they'd stop
Ran aground.
Yeah, it just kind of floated out of bounds. So, the Panthers are 6-6. The Browns are 4-7-1. Baker Mayfield's playing fantastic football. So is Nick Chubb. Cam Newton is not playing fantastic football. Christian McCaffrey's playing really well. The Panthers look like a struggle, a struggle and a half. And I want to take the Browns. In fact, I'm going to take the Browns here because I honestly believe that the Browns are playing better football right now than the Panthers are. I don't think they're the better team. I think the Panthers
are just playing better ball.
Are the better team. But yeah, they're playing better ball. And there's just something to be said about you just got to ride with the team that's really good. And also, congratulations to the Browns for winning 4 times as many games this season as they won in the last 2 seasons. Congratulations,
Cleveland.
That's unbelievable. And Greg Williams, who would have thought that Greg Williams would have been the man for the job there?
I was going to say.
Greg Williams, who once led Bounty Gates.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm proud of the Browns.
Yeah.
Proud.
They really built a good team. They drafted well. It's a good squad.
And next year they actually may do decently.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. They're in a tough division. The AFC North, Steelers, Ravens. You know, I mean, it's going to be Bengals. I mean, it's going to be tough for them to break through. But the fact of the matter is, that's a team with talent on both sides of the ball. I'm going to go with the Browns today. The Falcons are playing the Packers, and it's interesting because they look like the same team in a lot of ways. Both teams have suffered injuries. The Falcons are just not getting it done offensively.
No.
They're just not. Aaron Rodgers has been bad. Part of that is his injured knee that he's been playing on all season.
That State Farm commercial?
Possibly, which I feel like that's worse for us than it is for him. At least they pay him to do that. We don't get paid. We have to just suffer through it while we try to watch football. And that the terrible acting in that ad. But no, Aaron Rodgers is having a bad year for multiple reasons. But Mike McCarthy's gone, so I suppose if you're a Packers fan, that's something to look forward to. I don't know who you're going to replace as your head coach.
Time to buy stock now in Green Bay.
Yeah, I mean they're going to get somebody good. I hope, just not Lincoln Riley. I know that's who you want, but no, he's never leaving Oklahoma. Why would he? The Falcons are 4-8. Their offense hasn't really gotten going. Their defense is still incredibly banged up. And even with that said, Aaron Rodgers has been having not just a bad year for him, but a bad year for NFL quarterbacks in general. He's been as inaccurate as he's ever been. And this is problematic. And even then, Aaron Rodgers has thrown one interception all year long. The Falcons are a better football team. They're more complete, and even though they've had their struggles on offense, they haven't had struggles anywhere near like what the Packers had. They're going to beat the Packers unless they get that post-firing high that teams sometimes get, where you fire the head coach and then whatever reason team wins the next game. They might have that, but outside of that, the Falcons win this football game. The Colts visit the Texans. The Colts are 6-6. The Texans are 9-3 on a 9-game winning streak.
That's just the game the Titans are going to be sitting back looking at hard.
Yeah, and rooting for. I mean, the Texans, I guess, because you're not going to take top spot from the Texans at this point. So you're rooting for the wild card. You need Indy to lose.
Yep.
And just being at home, the Texans most likely win. The Texans have two things that you really, really need in the NFL to be successful.
JJ Watt?
Well, JJ Watt's part of it because you have a defense that you can pass rush without having to blitz. You got JJ Watt and Jadeveon Clowney. You can pass rush without blitzing. And then you've got a mobile quarterback. So if for whatever reason things break down, you have a guy who can get outside the pocket, extend plays, and make things better. I mean, Deshaun Watson gives you that dimension. Clowney and Watt give you that other dimension on the defensive side of the ball. The Colts are becoming a more well-rounded team. This is the most well-rounded they've been. The defense is pretty solid, but it's not great yet. And they have an actual offensive line. That's the real deal. The Texans most likely win, though, because they're loaded. They're more loaded than are the Colts. T.Y. Hilton's healthy for Indy today, though, so that should be a factor. The Broncos are visiting the Niners in the Boo Boo Bowl. The Broncos are 6-6. The Niners are 2-10.
The Boo Boo Bowl.
Yeah, every week I pick a game that's the Boo Boo Bowl. It's the worst game on the schedule to watch. And actually, if I really want to be completely honest, the Bills and the Jets are really the Boo Boo Bowl. Now that I think about it, But yeah, the Broncos and the 49ers are your other Boo Boo Bowl because this is not a watchable football game. The Broncos are pretty decent. Case Keenum is pretty decent, but they're not good. It's hard to watch them play offense. Defensively, they're a solid unit. Offensively, it makes you want to hurt your eyes. And the Niners, not much better. Again, not their fault. They don't have Garoppolo, and they've played every combination of Mullins and Beathard. And I mean, pick a bunch of quarterbacks you've never heard of in your entire life. They've all run through for the 49ers at this point. The Broncos are the only team. The Broncos are the only team that has a defense that good with an offense that anemic. That it's night and day on both sides of the ball. And again, Keenum hasn't been bad, but if you want to yawn, every time you watch a team play offense. Broncos, they're not bad, but they're not good. Just look, the Broncos are putting Jason to sleep right now. The Bengals and the Chargers. The Bengals are 5-7. They're having a bad year, which means Marvin Lewis is back on the hot seat again for whatever reason. The Chargers, though, they're a Super Bowl contender. They had a fantastic Sunday Night Football win last week, rallying from down 21 to come back and win that game over the Steelers. Chargers, I take the Chargers. Then the Steelers visit the Raiders. The Raiders are the other 2-10 team in the league. They're bad. The Steelers are going to beat them. And there's no reason to believe that that's going to turn out any differently. The Eagles and the Cowboys in a very important game. The Cowboys now lead all teams in the NFC East. The Eagles are trying to climb back in it after starting very slowly. The defending Super Bowl champions, everyone's wondering, hey, the Super Bowl hangover lasted a little bit long. But that division is just bad enough that the Eagles have a chance.
Yep.
They still haven't found themselves offensively, and they still look terrible. But I don't trust Dak. I know the Cowboys have done some winning lately. I still don't trust Dak.
I just don't trust the NFL, but never mind.
So I'm gonna take the Eagles on the road. This is a game they need to win, and they're better. They haven't looked it, they haven't played like it, but they are. The Lions and the Cardinals. This is the Boo Boo Bowl Part 3 because you talk about two teams.
Can we cut that into a soundbite and just hotkey it so that way we can just make it effective?
The Boo Boo Bowl. Yeah, we need to make that happen. The Lions and the Cardinals. The Cardinals, I guess, because at least the Cardinals, for whatever reason, haven't quit on the season. The Lions have, though. The Rams are playing the Bears. Very, very good game. The Bears are 8-4, but if Mitchell Trubisky's still not healthy, the Rams are going to steamroll the Bears on Sunday Night Football. And then the Monday Night Football game, the Vikings visiting the Seahawks. The Seahawks have won, 5 out of their last 6 games. There's absolutely no reason to believe that the Vikings are going to beat them. Kirk Cousins is starting to look like an overpaid $75 million man.
Sure. Can I say 2 things?
Yes. Happy birthday
to my really good friend, Verschetti, and happy birthday to our station owner.
There you go. Remember to listen to Jeff Styles tomorrow. Fred, the show is back 8 a.m. here on Nuga Radio. Remember, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Stay clutch. I'll see you next week.
Traffic, news, and information. Nuga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM.
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
Video on social media was released of the rapper Interstate Tax being arrested by Hamilton County Sheriff's Office deputies. The video appears to show rapper calling himself Interstate Tax being punched and kicked by Hamilton County Sheriff's Office deputies. While he was kicking his legs at the time, he was restrained. An officer is shown appearing to kick the rapper in the kidneys while he's lying on his side. The Hamilton County Sheriff's Office opened an internal investigation. The day of his arrest, Interstate Tax was supposed to appear on Marie Mott's show here on Nuga Radio. Eastridge Police Department is trying to capture a woman who was caught on video stealing a credit card and then using it to buy $160 worth of gift cards. We've shared the surveillance photo of her on our Facebook page. If you know who she is, contact the Eastridge Police Department. The Salvation Army says there's been a shortage of bell ringers. They're looking for volunteers. Wintry weather could be coming to Chattanooga. Keep an eye open for school closures. Russell Stroud, Nuga Radio News, Talking 92.7 Action News. Now.
Sean Hannity, weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 p.m. on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM.
Nuga Radio 92.7. Nuga Radio, Chattanooga weather.
It's been more wet and cold weather for your Sunday. Rain becoming more scattered, though, through the day. High